In this video, I am going to introduce dendrogram and why we've built it. So traditional giraffe works by allowing the user to draw some geometry and then you can give it a usage and you get these nice little blocks, block and stack. So simple, beautiful buildings and you can be quite expressive with them. You know, make overlaps and cantilevers or ziggurats, you know, whatever you wanted. But ultimately they're extremely simple geometries. And what dendrogram's doing is it's allowing you to create simple geometries, right, like a line, let's say, and then turn them into complex geometries, like this apartment block. So now I've drawn a retail space and I'm drawing an apartment block. So I'm going to stretch this out a little bit and then do something like that, right? Which is just really, really cool. So I'm drawing a simple polygon and then I'm drawing, and out of that polygon, sorry, a polyline, out of that polyline I'm getting a bunch of polygons that represent apartments. And then I can, you know, chuck a usage on them and get them to 3D as per normal giraffe. There we go. And I can copy paste them. I mean, how epic is that? It is just ridiculous. Okay, so what's actually happening under the hood is we're building a way of composing these algorithms, these functions that take something simple and turn it into something complex. And I'm going to demonstrate with this rectangle, you know, this park with trees. There you go. So this park with trees, you draw a park, and then you add a number of trees, and it randomly populates the trees in the park depending on the seed. That's what drives the random number generator, and you get these trees in the park. And I can't load 3D at the moment, but you can imagine there'll be some little 3D trees. You see these are both the same seed, so I click on that and I give them a different seed, so the park looks different. You know, these two parks look different. So that's really cool. But if we look under the hood, we can actually see what's going on. So we have, I must use these two fingers or else I'm going to scroll. We have the input geometry, and we're taking that input geometry and we're turning it into landscape. And then we're taking that input geometry and we are filling it randomly, and then we're converting those into trees. And so what I could do is split this guy again, and I could, let's say, random fill again, and I could then save these changes, and I have this random fill here, and you can see those black dots are in this random fill. So if I come in here and I change the seed, the black dots disappear. Maybe I only want 5 of them, and then I could say with these black dots, let's make them a pin, and they say hi, and with the no background. How cool is that? Okay, and now let's change that seed again. Hi, 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 hi. So now I've got this whole new usage, which is trees and people saying hi in a park. And maybe I want 900 people saying hi. Whoa, it's a lot of them. Maybe I want 99 with a different seed. I mean, this is, you know, pretty cool. So you can see now that if we click on this apartment one, and we open the generative editor, like, we've just taken the polyline, and here's the apartment algorithm, and then you get that residential use case. Okay, so what we could do is we could offset this thing. Just going to offset the line by 12 meters, and then we're going to take that line that we've offset and we're going to turn it into an array. Save changes. And you can see there they are. There's those dots at 12 meters. And let's just see if I can get there. There you go. And now I can put these as trees. Right? And there they've gone green like they're trees. So if I click on that line again, This line is now doing two things. A, it's producing residential like this, but B, it's producing these trees. And there's currently a space of 10, but I could send that space down to 5 or 4 or 3 or 2. Because that's the array transform, which is being surfaced. But if I wanted to get back into it and see everything, I could go back to that offset line and I could set that to 15. If I save those changes, now it's offset more. And now all of those changes propagate all the time. Right? And if I wanted to count, if I was doing a feasibility and I wanted to count how many bushes I needed to plant around my apartment, I can count up those dots and I can put a dollar figure against each. Maybe it's $100, and I can run my feasibility. So I'm drawing one polyline and I'm getting a whole bunch of apartments plus a whole bunch of trees, plus a whole bunch of other trees here, plus a whole bunch of other trees and people saying hi, or maybe they're saying bye. 99 seems like a lot. Let's get it to 29. I think this is extraordinarily powerful way of using software. So this is obviously heavily indebted to something like Grasshopper, which is one of my first loves. But everything that you see here is written in JavaScript, and these blocks, they have very simple signatures. They're GeoJSON. They take data in, they push data out, GeoJSON data. And we are probably going to add more and more of these things over time. So where Grasshopper was at a very low level of abstraction, like Grasshopper functions were things like, they were more mathematical, like find the isocurves of a surface, or find the normals, or find the whatever it is. These functions that we're working on are really focused at city making, so like apartments. We've got other ones like a structural grid, for instance, subdivide car parks, these sort of functions, rather than those meter thick columns, rather than like the purely abstracted mathematical ones. So that is dendrogram, and hopefully you sort of understand it. The final thing I say about it is the challenge we're trying to overcome is make it accessible to people who don't want to know what a generative editor is, or what a dendrogram. This is a dendrogram. It's like a tree-like diagram with these branches. They don't want to know what it is. They just want to use the algorithms, and also make it accessible to people who do want to know what this is and are going to want to start editing and changing these things. I doubt we'll ever be as expressive as something like Grasshopper, because it's much easier to write the JavaScript within the block, if there's something repeatable. But you do get this really nice composability of these functions, which is going to be powerful.